Hello everyone, welcome back to Gears Ground Up. This is another video for the Introduction to Python Interpreter series here on YouTube. We are going to be covering how to pass variables, specifically integers assigned to variables in between functions today. So carrying on with the theme of fruit and fruit calculators, that's what we're going to do today. So we're going to start off by creating a function that is called getFruit. And this is the syntax that we're going to use with a lowercase for our first word, capital letter for the second word, no space. Then we have to do a parentheses and a colon. We're not going to take in any arguments with this function. Arguments are like integers or strings that we can pass between functions. So inside of this function for getting fruit, we're going to have apples, and the variable apples is going to be of type integer, and we are going to call the input function within here. So whatever they type in will be stored as an integer, a number value associated with apples. And what will be displayed on the screen for the user will be number of apples. And we could type a question mark and then a colon and a space, something like that, so that the user knows that this is the space for input. And then we have two parentheses, an open and close for each of these. And at the end of this line, we'll push enter. We have to indent again, and we'll make another variable. This one we'll call bananas, and it's of type integer, so it's a number value, taking in another input from the user, and this one says number of bananas, question mark, and then we'll have a colon again with a space afterwards, so it's another clear way for them to see. Now, after it gets the number of apples and the number of bananas, we are going to then send these values into another function. And that function is going to be called countFruit. But instead of just having parentheses like this, we actually can pass those values in so they leave this function and can be used elsewhere, because these are local variables inside the function, not global. So if we type in apples and bananas and we make those arguments with our countFruit function we're about to make, they can be used in another function. So now we will define our other function, and this one is called countFruit. But we're going to pass in our apples and our bananas that we're receiving from the call countFruit function here. And don't forget your colon at the end of your definition. So we're going to define a function called countFruit, taking in the values for apples and bananas, and we're going to have a new variable called totalFruit. And totalFruit is going to be equal to apples plus bananas. And then let's print out a message that says you have, we'll do a space because we're going to now say the number that was calculated based on our variable totalFruit, and those are integers, so we're going to need to convert it to a string because we can't concatenate strings to integers. So we're going to say you have a string of our totalFruit, because totalFruit is a variable for integer, but we're going to need to convert it to a string. And then we're going to add in another string after that that says you have, so blank, totalFruit. And we have a closing parenthesis, we have quote pairs that goes with everything. That all looks really good. So when we push enter, now we have a little program here that asks the user for fruit when the getFruit function is called. And it says number of apples, we'll type in 52. Number of bananas, we'll type in 36. And it passes that information into our countFruit function, our apples and bananas, and we have a total of 88 fruit. That's it. That's the video on taking in arguments and passing them and using them in other functions with the same variables, and creating a new variable to calculate them together and display that out concatenated to the user. So I hope you enjoyed that video. Leave us a comment, a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and we'll hopefully see you down the road. Thank you.